So Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are making some serious moves when it comes to Star Wars, and I think you're going to be very happy about it because I know that I'm very happy about it. And not only do I think it's a good choice to please the fans, not only do I think it's a good choice narratively, but above all of that, I think it's an extremely good choice business-wise. I think it's a great choice marketing-wise. And we're going to talk about Obi-Wan and Ahsoka being in the Andor show. We're going to talk about Grogu being in the Bad Batch. We're even going to talk about how the Bad Batch is going to connect to Kenobi, and we're also going to talk about Anakin Skywalker being in flashbacks in the Kenobi show in his Clone Wars attire. Let's get into it. So the first article that we have from Inside the Magic says Andor will reportedly feature 2 major Jedi characters. So we already talked about yesterday that Darth Vader is most likely going to be in the Andor show. There's so many signs that point towards Darth Vader being in that show. And like I said yesterday, Andor kind of suffers from the same syndrome that the Bad Batch suffers from, and that the general public isn't going to be too excited for the show. A lot of people in my comment section, a lot of people in my live stream chats are saying they don't even know what Andor is. They don't even know who Cassian Andor is. But it's not only the fact that the general public isn't that excited for this show, but even diehard Star Wars fans aren't super excited for the Andor show because we don't really know why it's being made. And honestly, I'm one of those people who's not too excited about the Andor show. I don't even know why the show's being made, but if people like Darth Vader and the 2 characters that we're about to talk about show up, not only will people like you and me's excitement level go through the roof, but the general public will definitely want to check this show out. The article says, as the Star Wars universe continues to expand, Lucasfilm is making more connections between characters than ever before. And that's saying something for a franchise that thrives on connecting every detail to something else. And here is the official report. It's safe to say that almost every single Star Wars fan is waiting on bated breath for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series coming to Disney+. Well, listen up, Star Wars fans. The Illuminati has some exclusive news about where else Lucasfilm will be using Ewan McGregor in its future projects. The fact that Obi-Wan will have a sizable role in Andor shows that Lucasfilm is making an effort to connect all of its Disney+ series. Obi-Wan had a close relationship with Senator Bail Organa, so maybe he will be a key contributor of intel for the growing rebellion. Will the Andor storyline correlate at all with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series? Time will tell. According to that source, it seems like it's a given that Kenobi will appear in the Andor show. Now, just to be clear, that's not confirmed by Lucasfilm at all yet. The only show that Ewan McGregor is confirmed to be in is the Kenobi series, but that source seems pretty damn confident that Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to show up in the Andor show, and that's not the only source that's reporting that news. And that seems to line up not only with the other reports that we're hearing about the Andor series, not only with the other characters that we're hearing is going to be in the Andor series, but it also just lines up with the direction that Star Wars is going in right now. You can tell they're going after that Marvel template with every character showing up in everything. And while I think that's a good thing, while I want to see Ewan McGregor in every single Star Wars project ever made selfishly, I can acknowledge that Ewan McGregor showing up in every single Star Wars project is probably not a good idea narratively. We don't need to be exactly like the MCU and have every single character show up in every single movie. When we see characters like Obi-Wan, when we see characters like the one we're about to talk about next, it should be a very special moment, and if he shows up in every single show, it won't be special. But let's talk about the next Force-sensitive character that will be in the Andor show. According to reliable sources, Corey Van Dyke from Kessel Run Transmissions tweeted that Kenobi won't be the only iconic Jedi in Andor. And here is Corey's tweet. It said, Kenobi won't be the only Force-sensitive character appearing in Andor. Someone has a contract for multiple projects as well. Hashtag Fulcrum. Now, I kind of feel the same way about Ewan McGregor that I feel about Rosario Dawson and Ahsoka Tano showing up in this show. Yes, it's super exciting, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it's a little bit too much. She already just showed up in The Mandalorian. She's getting her own show, and now she's going to show up in Andor as well. It just seems like they're going a little bit too hard after the shared cinematic universe stuff. Don't get me wrong, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, and Vader showing up in the Andor series would be great to me selfishly. I would love that, but I just think for the story going forward, we're going to end up expecting all of these characters to show up in every single project. And I think when we start expecting Marvel level shared cinematic events for every single episode of every single TV show that comes out, that's when us as fans are going to start having problems because it's not possible for us to see those big characters for every single project. With all of that being said, give me all of the Ewan McGregor, give me all of the Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. I love both of those characters so much, and I would love to see them in the Andor show, especially because I think the Andor show needs some help in terms of my own excitement, because I'm not that excited for the show, but if those characters were to show up, my excitement level would go through the roof, as well as if the story just isn't there for that show. That would elevate the story so much, but we'll just have to wait and see how that turns out. Let me know what you think in the comments about all of that. Here we have an article from We Got This Covered. It says The Mandalorian's Baby Yoda may appear in Star Wars The Bad Batch. Now, I know We Got This Covered is not a reliable source. You don't have to tell me. I already know this, but the source that We Got This Covered is citing is a reliable source, and I just like the We Got This Covered article better than the other ones that I saw on this, so I'm using We Got This Covered, but they're not the main source of this article. According to YouTube channel Kessel Run Transmissions, the rumor goes that Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, revealed in an episode of The Mandalorian to have been rescued from the aforementioned planet's Jedi temple by an unnamed individual, will be ferried to safety by the unconventional team, potentially explaining how the child ended up on Arvala 7. Now, once again, not only does this raise my excitement level for the Bad Batch, but I think it makes 100% business-wise and marketing-wise, and I'll tell you why in a second. It's a plot that certainly makes sense, no doubt, but one that remains incredibly speculative in nature. Ultimately, we'll just have to wait and see what happens when Star Wars The Bad Batch arrives on Disney Plus in 2021. So once once again, the Bad Batch hype just isn't there, not only for the general public, but a lot of diehard Star Wars fans are just not that hyped about the show for multiple different reasons. For one, the Bad Batch arc in the Clone Wars season 7 just wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't great like the last arc of that show was. For two, the Bad Batch just isn't that interesting to me and to a lot of other people. They're just not that interesting, but this show could definitely change that if done right. And for three, the Gina Carano situation, a lot of people just aren't planning on watching this show because it's not worth giving Disney money over. And while I completely understand that decision, while I completely respect that decision, I'm still gonna watch the show because I have a Star Wars YouTube channel. And even if I didn't have a Star Wars YouTube channel, I would probably still watch the show because I just like enjoying Star Wars content. And I refuse to let these evil overlords at Disney stop me from enjoying the things that I love. But back on topic, I believe that if Grogu were to appear in this show, it would get the general public so hyped for this show. But not only just the general public, it would get a lot of the diehard Star Wars fans who are skipping out on this show. It would make them want to watch the show even more as well, because no one wants to miss out on the story of how Grogu survived Order 66. No one wants to miss out on who rescued Grogu from Order 66 from the Jedi Temple. So I think it's a great idea for Star Wars to do this, for Dave Filoni to do this, and once again, it stays on track with the direction that Star Wars is going in terms of trying to do this shared cinematic universe stuff, trying to do this Marvel stuff. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ahsoka Tano being in the Andor show, as well as Darth Vader. And let me know what you think about Grogu being in the Bad Batch. Do you think he's going to even show up in the Bad Batch? Do you think he should show up in the Bad Batch? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want to support the channel, check out all the new merch that I just dropped. The link to that will be in the description. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both of those links will be in the description as well. But thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you on the next one.